Welcome to Spirit Baby Radio. You are about to join a frequency that will open your mind, expand your heart, and activate your spirit. Thank you for joining Kelly Meehan, Spirit Baby Medium and Master Energy Therapist. Kelly believes in the power of the Spirit Baby. She speaks with babies in spirit before life, in the womb, and after life. She supports, teaches, and guides others to tune into the intuitive and mystical parts of life for greater wisdom. Join her in meeting your soul baby and build your connection and relationship with deep love and trust. Welcome to Spirit Baby Radio with your host, Spirit Baby Medium, Kelly.
Welcome to episode 121, September 17th, 2021. Opening to womb wisdom through sweet Spirit Baby communication love. What does your sacred body need to tell you? How do you allow the inner sensing self to merge with your consciousness? Are you ready to surrender and give your heart over to your destiny? What ways does Spirit Baby support you? Woo, I feel like there's a lot to say in that, right? The womb wisdom, sweet Spirit Baby communication love. I feel like there's a lot of new things popping up, maybe coming into your consciousness in these days. And maybe you're questioning, am I in conception? And what does that path look like? And maybe it feels like a jagged, confusing, laid out path. Or maybe it feels like the destiny piece, right? Maybe it feels like, oh, there's a path, there's momentum, there's something happening, but I just don't know, right? I hear this quite often, but Kelly, I just don't know. And here's my biggest, most powerful advice. It is okay not to know and have every single answer. You are in the destiny of your heart. You feel this connection with your child, with your spirit baby, with your child of light. And of course, I'm encompassing all these different areas of conception into pregnancy and even loss to pregnancy. When you're connecting and building this synergistic awareness inside you, it's a part of you. It's not just this physical thing that's happening, right? I mean, it is a big part of it, right? There is a lot of physical, changing, internal manipulation happening, to say it in that way. But there's also this textural, energetic, really vibration of who you are. And I say your mind will be the biggest enemy. It really will. The mind is critical. It can be so abusive, and there's even wounds and traumas. And I want you to know you're listening to this for a reason. You are whole, even in your traumas, even in your wounds, even in, fill in the blank. Where is your connection? Baby is not looking for perfection. I know that is my tagline. Baby never looks for perfection. You are in alignment with who you are, and there's so much change happening. Constantly, I'd say chronic change, right? People are always wondering, and as I've shared in the past, I do connect with conscious shifts more globally, and we're moving into something really big very soon, but I want to say hold on to your heart. How about that? Be in your heart in this time. Be in body integrity. Listen. Know the difference between the overactive mind, and know the difference between where your heart lies and where you feel centered in your whole entire being. And I always go into the heart space, right? Because in the heart space, we can find that. You can place your hand on your chest. You can feel with your skin. You can go, oh, where's my breath? Take a breath, really feeling into your presence, to where you are, to your internal existence. Who are you? And it's always quite excellent to bring yourself back into reflective times, to check in with yourself. You don't have to be super micromanaging yourself at every moment, but some people will. Their thought space is powerful, but it's, where is your life? Are you in a really beautiful, good space in your life? And I'm not talking about perfection. Do you feel aligned with this time? Are you emerging? Are you growing? Are you fertile? Is your fertile energy just opening to this creative window that is a part of you right now? It is right in front of you, and I want you to feel that inspiration. So when I use these terms of inner sensing, the merging of your consciousness, I laugh because it's like, what, Kelly, what are you saying? What does this mean? And I want you to know that it's, again, it's the coming together with the thought process and the way the mind works, and really the fear the persuasion, the excessive amount of energy in the currents around most people is too much. It's overwhelming. And I put a shout out to all the empaths out there, and I hear it all the time, the empaths, beautiful empaths, sensitive beings, different levels of empaths, physical empaths, emotional empaths, sensitive empaths. Again, different levels, different missions in this world. And typically empaths, guess what? You have empathic children, sensitive beings that are wanting to come into this world and wanting to help restructure it. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. And I know people say, well, look, the world's going to shit right now, but it always has been going through its levels, right? Since the beginning of time. We look at history. It has always been going through stuff, and spirit baby beings, these souls who are more than babies, are coming in with their own mission. And I want you even to play around with that idea. What would you even sit here for a moment, tuning into that specific vibration of you? What is my baby's mission? Maybe you're in conception and you're asking yourself, what is my baby's mission? What does that look like? Let me journal. Let me write it down. Maybe it's something I've never reflected with. Don't keep it in your head. Put it on paper. Look at it. Or maybe you're in pregnancy and you're rubbing your belly and you're just in love with that belly. What is this, in your pre-birth communication practice, what is this being's purpose? Like, what a gorgeous, beautiful, inspiring, intentional energy to build around your own connection. And it's like, well, maybe I don't know. Or maybe it feels like mystery, or maybe you just feel like, oh, this is exactly it. Or maybe it will be changing. There's no have-tos, or it has to look a certain way. Or maybe you're somebody that's dealing with a loss, whether it's miscarriage, multiple, stillbirth, infancy loss, and your child of light, your son, your daughter, you want to bring your heart into the space with their connection, with that communication, and what levels of healing and consciousness that continues to bring into, again, remember the inner sensing self of you. And, I use the word surrender, right? Oh, the surrender, I know that's a big one. And giving your heart over to your destiny. I know destiny is like, it's not a word I use a lot, but I just felt very inspired. Like, what is the destiny of spirit baby being? What is the destiny of people? And I love that. Like, what is your spirit baby destiny? The destiny of that connection. And you're allowed to project outward. You're allowed to go, I want to move into the timelines of this being right here, right now. And how do I quote unquote visualize that, right? And I use that word visualize because people were so in our crowns, our cerebral brain, but you are more than your brain. And just even sit with that for a moment. Your energy goes beyond your brain thought and your consciousness, your psychic awareness, your spiritual awareness. It's so much more than the concrete structures of this matter, of these bones, muscles, this nervous system. They're important, but your consciousness and your energy are going to mold that physical structure. And what I mean by that, too, they've done studies. If I get a plant and I put it in my window and I yell at it and I say how much I hate it all the time, negativity, guess what? That plant is not going to grow the same as if I put this other plant, a living organism connected to nature, roots and soil, and I'm like saying all these positive, amazing things. And they've done this with water years ago. They've done it even with water, looking at the molecules of water. And so, again, reminding yourself this fertile ground of who you are, the biology, the skin, the bones, all of that physical matter is reflected in energy. And it's okay if your brain's like, well, I don't get it. I don't understand. But this is the journey. You are in this journey of this world, not to just have a body, but to see how energy, the vibrational space, is in collaboration with that. And so you can activate that, use that, as I use the word womb wisdom. There's this woman who writes a book called Womb Wisdom, and she talks about the womb as a soul. And even again, I feel like this is going to be all that reflection episode. I want you to reflect. I want people to sit, and this is just this is free insight right now. And so really sitting going, oh yeah, like what is this? Can I journal this? What is this about the womb? What can I kind of move down into my body, placing my hands on my womb, and what is its own soul? What is its origin? What is its light? Can I bring yet again another texture or quality to the healing that I'm doing, that my womb is just so durable. It's been through a lot, and maybe I have trauma, ancestral trauma, current trauma, conception trauma, and I don't know where to go next, how to find my center. And remember, the most beautiful offering I can say to that is, where is the love? Not like, I know, like Beatles, all we need is love, but I'm going to say like hippie love, but hippie love's good too. But really your foundation, your foundation is love. And there's a deep space within that eternalness of love. It's what keeps you going in this world. It's not just the love of other people and the love of our children, the love of our relatives, the love of our friends, which, by the way, yeah, super thumbs up. It is awesome to be loved. And when we feel love for other people, we show up for that. And I have a lot of love for my clients that I've seen consistently throughout the weeks and months. I do. I have love for them. Why would I not? I see the beauty of their soul. I see the work that they're doing. Not to say if I don't see you that much, I don't have love for you. Of course I do, but there's some deeper connection of love that gets to be supported and seen. And so maybe even reflecting on this timeline of like, okay, I'm just tired. I'm over it. I'm ready to do this next thing. Check in with your intuitive awareness. Where is that self-love, your soul love, your womb love, spirit baby love, all about love. Like even, get a little overly rambunctious and tacky about it. Where's the love? Here's the love. There's the love. Everything's love. I'm looking in the mirror. There's love. I'm going outside. I'm driving. There's love. What is love? Do I even love myself? I know that's a really big one because a lot of maybe empaths and a lot of spiritual beings that feel like they've been just dropped into this world, the sense of love feels minimal, or it feels dense. It feels fear. It feels dark. And so I do feel like what I've seen over the many years is that this energy of conception, it brings us into such a deeper, expanded space of love that we would not know without that connection. Of trying to conceive or working that energy of conception, whether, you move into, whatever your journey is, whether it was multiple loss and then there's an earth child, or whether you're still working towards it, like you don't even know what's next to unfold. And I do feel like, yes, we have different requests and dreams and ideas on what we're building in our reality. And I want you to take a breath, reboot your energy, and continue that path that calls you. Because it's no coincidence if you feel like, oh, I've just stumbled upon Spirit Baby, Walter McKitchen's book, Spirit Babies, or I'm just seeing Spirit Baby stuff, or there's no accident. And I know a lot of women will question that, going, hey, Kelly, I don't, maybe it's not in my destiny, or maybe it's not in the cards, or, maybe it's in my mind, or I'm thinking it too much, or maybe it's just, and I'm like, what is all that junk? So it's my imagination. It's just like you feel something deeper. And this is really irks me, is that in our world, the disconnect is so apparent globally, right? The fear of the pandemic, which I'm not going to say don't fear it, but I'm also going to say you got to check in. Got to check in, time to check into the next level, because your internal intuitive signal, or I'd like to call your instincts, is there. There's no going back and forth with instincts. There's only fear that clouds what that looks like. And so let's say you're on a conception journey and you have to do intervention. You have to check in. The intervention isn't a one-size-fits-all approach. You have to find your way in that intervening to bring in that light body, that baby energy, and it's possible. I work with people all the time, and this is what we do. We build. And I see the beauty and grace of people, and I hear the hardship. And I don't sugarcoat it and just say, hey, everything's all happy and everything's fine and just be inspired. And if you can look at my Instagram lives and with some live people, we went to some really, sorrowful, sad places with some, and other people more, just unwinding their connection and their way to move into that conception journey. And my Instagram is @SpiritBabyMedium, and you can look at that, and hopefully there'll be an IG Live hopefully very soon, and some Spirit Baby Oracle card pulls, which I really love to do because I feel like I know things. I know maybe too many things sometimes. And that's a whole other conversation. Like, do I need to know all these things that are always happening? No, probably not. But I do want to restructure and continue to bring where my specific frequency is on this conscious conception journey. And I see many different levels of people, of course. I would say I see a lot of spiritual diversity. You don't have to have it all figured out. You don't have to be the most highly intuitive person in the world or in the group, in the circle. It's who you are, the self-love, right? Activating whatever that womb wisdom is. And I say activation because it's exploratory. Your internal womb wisdom, that connection is aligned with you. It's not aligned with someone else. And this is where, when I teach a lot, and we're in the middle of Sacred Embryo right now, which is awesome. We did week 1, intuitive design, week 2, quantum fertility, week 3, spirit baby communication practice. We just, we're in week 4 now. It's sacred reproduction. And week 5, what are we coming into? It could be mental energies and stuff. I can't remember. So we're in this womb wisdom, this activating space of where's this creative center, where's this light. But your womb, your uterus, when I say womb, by the way, I mean uterus, ovaries, fallopian tubes, all those beautiful organs that, again, are durable and they take a beating. And it's the pelvic floor, the bowl. And there's a lot of history most of us women carry. My gosh. And how much self-love we have to just be present with is so important. And in this week, we really talked a lot about going into the somatic piece, the some here, the body, listening to the body, not having the thoughts overanalyze, figure out, pick away. But this is where that nice touch, that body connection, where's your nervous system? There's so many parts to that. And I'm Spirit Baby Medium with a bit of kick and flair. And what I mean by that is I want you to bring in the embodiment in there. I don't want to just have this discussion, there's your baby's message, here we go, and this is where the medical intuitive piece comes in. Where are you in your body? Who are you? And how are you connecting? And what do you need? And what do your timelines look like? And then what do you do next on your path? And how do you listen to it? And again, it's not an overnight thing. And so what happens is, let's say you're new to Spirit Baby communication, or you feel like you've been on it for a long time and you question it. I feel like we have to go what I'll call like a spiritual cleanse, some kind of spiritual detox. And that could be food related, absolutely. It could be, maybe it's mental, like I got to get this subconscious stuff, or maybe it's ancestral trauma, or maybe it's current mother-father trauma that you're healing and working with. There, and whatever your area, it's whatever that connection is for you, you work with it and you allow yourself to receive it, and you see what is being restructured around that. You don't have to, again, this is the hard piece, right? You don't have to have it all figured out in your thoughts. Like, oh, this is the reason, or this is why this didn't work, or this is this, or the self-blame. And I always say, go there. We're so good at being dark and fearful with ourselves. But, okay, know when you're like, you've had enough of it, and you're like, okay, I want to look at a different angle of this. Where can my energy go? How can I continue to open with it? And again, remember, there's no one size fits all to your reality. I'll call it that. I like that. Because I've said this for a long time, even before we came into this, I feel like the time of the pandemic, new world creation, that there isn't. And that's the freaking beauty of life, is that people have different connections. Like one person can eat a lot of salt and it's delicious and it's good for their body. Well, guess what? That other person can't eat salt. They have hypertension, high blood pressure, and it's bad for them. So we're not going to all do the same thing. And that's where I feel like that even the beauty of conception comes in, because I've seen so many different souls and currents of energy in people's consciousness, the mental structures, the baby energy. And that's where I feel like what works is like, oh, what is your specific recipe? And maybe you don't know. Maybe you're like, I don't know what my recipe is, Kelly. What is it? You know, is my womb wisdom sad, or do I not know how to communicate? Is it becoming routine? Like, where am I at with that? And, you know, this is where you're kind of just soaking yourself in it and going, oh, let's see, what do I need next on my conception journey? What maybe you need to experiment. I mean, that's like amazing. Experiment. I've experimented so much on my health in the past 2 years, especially with foods and detoxes and green powders and liquids and I feel like I'm an anti-inflammatory expert, especially for myself. What is my body like? What doesn't it like? How is it speaking to me? Is this energy that's translating through my body? Does it need an emotional space to be held for it, or is it really physical? And so we get to be our own internal investigators on what does that feel like, and how we get to connect with each other in that way. And it's really, I feel like it's beautiful. It's beautiful because we're advocating for self-inquiry and we're exploring. And so, and conception journey definitely can have a lot of push in that, especially if it feels like, I'm on this conception journey and now maybe my eggs aren't good, the sperm isn't good. Oh, I have an opportunity for embryo adoption, but that brings up feelings. Or I have an opportunity for surrogacy. I don't know. So many feelings. And I've seen babies come in different ways at different times. I've met babies that came through surrogacy. I've met babies that come through IVF. I meet babies that come through embryo adoption. I meet babies that, let me see, what else am I missing here, that come through natural conception. I meet twins that come through natural conception. I've met babies that may be more in the middle of leaving through early birth loss. I've met those babies, or even later. I've met people after through other birth losses. You know, what are the ways these babies are communicating? They're coming through. What is that for you? I mean, that's the number one thing. You as a mother, you as father, it's not just one or the other. What is the father's purpose? What is the father's mission? What is the other partner? Let's say maybe it's not a heterosexual, partnership. What is that other person's experience, connection, their soul plan, their soul mission, their soul destiny, their spirit baby communication, awareness? And then what is even a journey of single parenthood, still, connecting with that, other energies of what you're creating. It's like that connection as well. And so, again, babies, and this is a big thing, is they're not looking for something specific to what the world wants. And that's a hard one. And we see this. We see this with babies they call them miracle babies. I've had women say there was 0% chance I should have conceived, and their children are in their arms and they're holding them. Well, who says there's a 0% chance? Because is that true? And if that baby can't come through your womb, how are they coming? And I don't doubt that you have spirit baby communication. And then people say, well, Kelly, what happens if I have multiple losses and I don't know, what is this? Where do I then meet that being? And some do become spirit guides. And that's a one-on-one journey with you. Is this being coming into creation, and what is that for you? And how are you continuing to listen to that? And again, I see women that are surprised, or they tell their medical providers or fertility expert, this is what I feel, not really what I think or want. And that's a part of it. You're allowed to think and want what you want. But also, like, nope, this is what it's going to look like. This is my connection, and this is what I'm going to move towards. And that doesn't mean there won't be disappointment in the process, especially if you're doing intervention. I do feel like sometimes, and I know people that are listening may be like, oh, take a deep breath. If you run to intervention right away with no physical issues in your body or any major things, you may feel like, did I do this right or wrong? Maybe you just went too quickly and you shifted the timeline. And so when timelines get shifted, they don't go back. So maybe you had this feeling, this was supposed to work, it's supposed to be, but a timeline shifted, maybe with fear, with too much intervention, with some other soul mission. And so you can't overanalyze that. You can't go, oh, well, maybe I should have done this or that, because you can't go back and change that timeline. Some could say you can, but that's a whole other podcast and a whole other frequency. But for now, and where your vibrational space is, you get to go in the present, in this very moment of your breath, to set up that connection with yourself, to say, okay, I'm this vibrational being. My womb is completely responding to the vibration of my heart, completely. My creative heart connects with my creative womb. And yes, again, if you've had traumas and wounds and ancestral stuff, you're working on it in the now. And it doesn't mean, well, I'm not doing enough for the uterus. What if the theme, and I've seen different themes for conception struggles, whether 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 years, what is this theme? Your theme is different. And I've been somewhat, I feel blessed on some level in the past months. I can see more of a theme for people. And that theme is that present time, because that may change. Like if you came to me 5 years ago, maybe your theme was completely different. But it's like, what is happening in this now, in this atmosphere, in your specific frequency? And so that theme could be like, you know what? And I've seen this. You're doing the work you're doing to empower people, and you're maybe as a career, and you're really working to empower yourself. Maybe there's relationships. It was like, it's really, there's nothing broken with your uterus, with your ovaries. It's literally this energy of connecting to your ancestors, of empowerment. So instead of overly focusing on the uterus and the ovaries, are they good enough? Are they perfect enough? Because I've met people, they're perfect and they're good, or they're a little off, that don't get hyper-focused on the physical. And this is so hard. This is so incredibly hard, because we've been taught that our bodies belong to doctors and that we know nothing. And that's far from the truth. And there's a huge movement now, right? Huge movement. This is where I love somatic psychology, nervous system work. And so look into that. Look into embodiment. Are you embodied? Are you in your head? What's the difference? Learn about that. And so the theme, as I was saying, the theme may not be what you even would consider. It could be like, oh my gosh, that is so true. I am doing this in my outside world, but I never thought it was connecting to that connection of baby. Or another big obstacle is partnership. And I know a lot of women who are womb holders, who are working towards inviting spirit baby, creating their family, they don't want to hear that. And unfortunately, yeah, you may not be able to make your partner rev up their spiritual energy to get to that frequency where everybody's aligned. And that's okay. The biggest energy I would push is, well, what are you doing? Because I do feel in partnership, if you're a female in the world, you are a female, your energy is very specific and unique. You have the ability to create life and destroy life. And there's power in that. And this is where I feel like we need to harness that power. And so our male energies, I'll talk specifically around male energies, if there's partnership, father energy, your energy can stabilize and create a certain frequency that is very unique and different. And so you can uphold that. And that's a beautiful thing. And it's okay, because people go, well, my partner, they're so negative, or they're just stressed out. And yeah, look at our world. Our electromagnetic fields are being fed with so much toxicities. But it's okay. You detox. You share love, you share connection, and don't feel like, well, it's all their fault. Because sometimes it does come up in a session. Oh, why is dad coming up a lot? Sometimes the baby's like, hey, dad's not on the right frequency yet. Okay, cool. How do we get him on there? How do we do that? Let's do this. And then you listen and you build and you connect, and, you move between the fear and the love, really. Or I used to say fear and faith, but I like fear and love. You're moving in between both all the time. And so, building that womb wisdom, right, that vibrational space of just your self-awareness, who you are, and really stop, I would say the word, stop being heady, stop going in your head, merge with yourself. I love this spirit baby sweetness and love. And again, I feel like even in this specific episode, I want you to just tap into that next vibrational space that's calling for you, because the baby beings are asking that of so many of us, that I'm here, I'm present, mom, dad, hear me, listen to me, follow your heart. Let's see what we're doing. What is happening next? And it may not be what you think it is. And most of the time it's not. And so I leave you with some tips, right? Stop being an overthinker. Remember, you're more than your brain. Yeah, your brain is subconscious, it's your nervous system, but believe me speaking about it, I can't convince you of it, but you attaining and moving through that space, you will know exactly what I'm saying. The next tip is get your love heart, I call it your love heart, self-love activator on. Where is your heart? Be in your heart. Touch your heart, whatever your heart is. Wake up and go, where's my heart? I'm breathing, I'm connecting, I'm doing a yoga movement with my heart. I'm journaling with my heart. Where am I? Who am I in this time, in this moment? Not last week, not who I want to be. Who are you right now in this moment? And the next tip is communication, not just communication with baby beings, communication with your body, with your consciousness. And of course, later on that, you'll bring in that connection of baby being. Another tip is instincts. Instincts. I could say intuition, but instincts. Your natural instincts is spirit baby communication. Yes, I call it spirit baby communication practice, because if you're overthinker, you have to move into a practice. It's instinctual. It's grace. It's there. It could be there within 1 second of your presence. And another tip is, I say, stop and quiet yourself. Quiet. Find quiet. And if you feel too noisy, what's going to make you less noisy? And then see where you're at. Presence. Where are you in the presence? And another tip is connect. I love this. Connect with higher energy of baby. What does that even mean? The ultimate energy of baby being. Connect with that higher energy of baby. You can even ask that, baby, your love. I'm connecting to your higher energy with my higher energy, and together, and listen, sit inward. And the next final tip, use external tools. I'm not going to shame you. External tools are great, whether it's energy work, whether it's massage, whether it's singing bowls, whether it's essential oils. If that external cushion, that love, that comfort is going to give you to your internal resource, then bravo. But I want to challenge you is you do have internal resources, and it's something to explore. And what would that be? Like, if there's no external anything, how do you call in yourself? How do you know where you sit and rest? And I'm going to leave you with all these tips and this specific episode. I feel like we are cracking through into your vibrational space. And sit with it. Maybe even after this episode, take a moment, close your eyes, feel your body, take a breath. I trust that baby being. I will put a shout out for you. Baby being, go to your mom, go to your dad. They are hearing, go to your sibling. They want you. They want to connect. And let's help bridge that energy of the currents of light, that rainbow of love. Whatever synergistic, beautiful, graceful energy wants to come through into this new world, new life. And if you're just, wherever you're at is perfect and beautiful. And I want to thank you for joining episode 121, Opening to Womb Wisdom Through Sweet Spirit Baby Communication Love. And of course, always, you can find me at Instagram at Spirit Baby Medium. I also want to throw out there, I have 2 really great Facebook groups. One is Spirit Babies, Awakening to Conception, Pregnancy, and Birth Loss. And I have one just for birth loss for your child of light connection, and a great amount of resources and support in that group. It's called The Afterlife of Spirit Baby, Healing Connections and Love. And Lori Larson is co-collaborating there, and she's an amazing intuitive and has her own bereavement story and connection. And you can connect with us there. Thank you for joining. If you like my podcast, please subscribe, leave reviews, and don't forget I have a book for pregnancy and conception, or conception and pregnancy. It's a journal, Sacred Communication, a Spirit Baby journal, and Spirit Baby Oracle cards, Soul Answers from a Spirit Baby. And not last but not least, I guess that's the word we say, is I do offer at an amazing discount right now for $29 a month. It's the Spirit Baby Collective. It is, we go through Mighty Networks. You get the book. Actually, you get the book on a PDF. You get community with other women and all different levels. We get a lot of my energy. You get resources. You get meditations and workshops every month, and special guests and live drop-ins, so we can connect even more in a different way. And building love, connection with Spirit Baby, your heart's destiny. I'll use that word again. And so thank you so much for tuning in.
This is Spirit Baby Radio. Thank you for joining Kelly in the energy of awareness, love, healing, and soul communication. Please join the next episode at www.soulbabycommunication.com.